Hey, good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo First here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. Our second shir is in Mishna Berura. Taking a few weeks before Shavuos to be learning Hilchos Yom Tov, which begins in Siman Kaf Sadi Hey in the Mishna Berura. And Tsama Nafshi, by the way, is located in Yerushalyim, HaKodesh, not too far from the central bus station on Rehov Zikr Yaakov number 6. In the Beit Knesset of Yeshiva, so you're welcome to join us, especially if you're coming from Push Lawrence. We'd like to help enrich your visit to Eretz Yisrael and to Yerushalayim. So we have here at Sadi Hey, right from the beginning. From the beginning. Yeah, Yaakov, can we do it? Yes.
כל מלאכה אסורה בשבס, אסורה ביום טוב. חוץ ממלאכת אוכל נפש, וחוץ מהוצאה והערה. All labor that is prohibited on Shabbos is asur on Yom Tov, except for like work related to preparing food, and for transferring, and for lighting a fire. Kain machshirei ochel nefesh.
What are we up to? What page? Siman Sadi Hey. Okay.
וכן מכשירי אוכל נפש שלא היה אפשר לעשות תם מאתמול, and machshirei is to make fit, make food.
The preparation for food. Things which are necessary to the preparation of food, right? They couldn't be done before. Yeah, couldn't be done before.
Right, so making ready food that was not possible to do right from yesterday.
So let's just review for a moment. All labor which is forbidden on Shabbos is also on Yom Tov, except for several major categories. Malachas Ochel Nefesh, work which is necessary for the preparation of food, and also carrying outside in domains, right? You're permitted to carry, and lighting of fires, but we'll find it's going to be the transfer of fire. To light an actual wood fire, there are limitations about that. And this is what's permissible, right? It's permissible something to prepare food, right, which was not possible to prepare from the day before. Meaning, in the times of the Shulchan Aruch and previous to the times of refrigeration, you had to prepare food so it would be fresh. It wasn't an option to preserve food unless it's going to be pickled or something like that. There was no freezing, no refrigeration. So anything that you would prepare before Yom Tov, it could possibly spoil, number one. Number two, it could lose its flavor, right? And then not be as good as it possibly could be. So something which is we prepared the day before but lose its flavor and not be as good as it could be, then we have the permissibility of making that on Yom Tov as well. Okay, the Hagah, let's see the Ramah, Yesh Machmirin.
יש מחמירים אפילו באוכל נפש עצמו, כל שאינו מפיג. Those who are stringent, even upon ochel nefesh itself, anything that is not mefig.
Mefig tam, meaning it will lose its flavor.
Okay. She'eno mefig tam
klal, meaning there will be no loss of flavor at all. We'll explain these things in a minute.
Okay.
Im osum erev Yom Tov, if it would be made from erev Yom Tov. So meaning, you have different types of food. And again, we're talking when there's, in general, when there was no type option of refrigeration. So if you would make something on erev Yom Tov, right, you have to judge as to whether or not the quality of the food in terms of its flavor and taste would be the same as if it would be made the day before or not. If something would taste better fresh than making it the day before, then you can make it fresh on Yom Tov. However, if something would retain its flavor and not lose in its tastiness and its, even if its appearance, its appetizability for serving to people, if that would not be affected by making it a day before, so then according to the Machloim, you're obligated to make it the day before, and you cannot make it, at least in the usual manner, on Yom Tov itself. You might be able to do it using what we call a shinui, a type of a change in method. You possibly might be able to do it that way, but you couldn't make it in the regular fashion. Yeah.
What about the other way?
Which, I mean,
What about the food's not going to spoil, the food's going to be fine, but it would taste better if I...
made it the day before. Yeah, so...
But it's not a question of the food dying, it's just a question of trying to improve the flavor.
Right. There are foods that if you make it early, you know, that with
Correct.
time they taste better, right? So that wouldn't, if you didn't do it, that wouldn't stop you from making it fresh, because the way if you make it fresh, it would be okay, right? It would be okay, but it won't be as good as if you made it the day before. So there's nothing to stop you from making it now fresh.
Right. So
And
can you make it the day before?
Yes, you
For
certainly
sure.
can. You can. You're not
The more you can do before, the less malacha you do on Yom Tov.
right. I mean, generally, you want to try and.
Isn't the principle that if you can make it the day before without any loss, that you're required to make it the day
You are
before?
required. You are required. Right. Correct.
So in
it
your
does stop you
situation,
from
would do
making
that.
it fresh. The fact that it gets better if you make it a day ago prevents you from making it fresh.
Unless you forgot.
Well, let's say you didn't want to have coleslaw yesterday, and today now you decide to make coleslaw. There's no difference. There's a big difference in coleslaw you make right now and eat it right now, and if you made it yesterday and let it sit in its juices for a day. Coleslaw tastes better if it was made early, right? Yeah. No.
Depends what kind of coleslaw you're making.
Okay.
Some coleslaw is better second day.
Yeah.
Some coleslaw is better made right now like a salad and served dressed.
Right. Okay.
Depends.
Right.
What I'm saying is lechatchila,
Yeah.
you have to make it the day before.
Well, the thing is, like, if I'll tell you, let's take a look at the Mishna Berura. Hold on, well, let's learn the Mishna Berura. See, get the rules straight.
Also, you can make a Shabbos if you want to. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are ways to do it. As long as you don't dice it too finely,
Right.
and and then adding the
Yom Tov you can dice, no?
yeah, token in general you can. Actually, when you get to actually grind that question using a kli,
Okay.
that's already gavuli. That's the
Right.
limits. You're pushing the limits already. We'll try and get into this a little bit. Usr. Okay, so Mishna Berura says it's usr. Everything that's usr on Shabbos is usr on Yom Tov,
Chef
except
101.
for these several exceptions. Take a look in Mishna Berura Sifkat and Aleph. Usr b'Shabbos. Everything that's usr b'Shabbos is usr on Yom Tov as well.
Asra b'Shabbos, bein she'isura min haTorah, or bein she'isura mishum shivut, from rest.
Well, that Shuas is in reference to the Rabbanan.
Right. The king called davar she'asur la'asoto ba'atzmo, asur lamar gam la'akum, like a Gentile, la'asoto kamo b'Shabbat. Asur to say also to a Gentile to do on Shabbos.
Right, so
Like Shabbos.
yeah, so everything that's usr on Shabbos midorais is usr on Yom Tov, and everything that's usr on Shabbos midoram is also usr on Yom Tov to do. And not only that, even something which you can't say to a non-Jew to do on Shabbos, it's also usr for you to say for a non-Jew to do for you on Yom Tov as well. All those, everything's out, except your Sifkat Beis.
Chutz mimelechet ochel nefesh. K'dichtiv b'kra, ach asher ye'achel l'kol nefesh u'levado ye'aser lechem. There's a pasuk in Torah here. The pasuk says, Surely, that, but, however,
right?
however, that which he will eat,
We call that all people.
this only, hu levado, will he do for yourselves.
Right. This exclusively you should do for yourselves. Meaning only that which is for your food needs, right? That's what you can exclusively do for yourselves, right? Okay.
Except for transferring and lighting a fire. Ufrate dinehem ba'aru. So I'm not sure this.
Right. Prati hadinehem, and the details of these laws, is baru, will be explained l'kaiman further on.
In Siman Taf Kof Yud Aleph.
And Kuf Yud Ches.
Right.
Those are the two major places where these laws are explained in detail.
The King Machshirei Ochel Nefesh, Ufrat Din Zeh, and details of this din, Ayin, come on, Siman Taf Kof Tet, Taf Kof Tet. Yeah, so just you agree?
Yeah. So this is got hey, meaning this is now going into the concept that was shalo efshar lasos nefesh. Ochel nefesh was not possible to do, right, from the day before, the Erev Yom Tov.
Shalom Hayashar, that which is not possible. We need to compel the Yom Tov to prepare on Yom Tov.
Right, that
Oh, Shalom, he's Tiklo, or we didn't have time. Right?
right, that had it been done Erev Yom Tov, it would be spoiled on Yom Tov, right? And you'd make a souffle, right? If it's not held in refrigeration, whatever, I don't know if the souffle is going to hold up after a day. What's going to happen to a souffle?
It's going to crash.
Poop. It's going to poop, and it's going to be not very appetizing. You know, if you chop it up and throw it into the salad or something, like make an egg salad out of it. It's not what you wanted to. So a souffle you could make on Yom Tov, right? You want a cheese omelet, right? No difference with cheese now is if you make a fresh cheese omelet right now as opposed to a cheese omelet yesterday, and go back in the days where you had no refrigeration, just keeping this egg thing on the shelf there for a night and half a day. It's not very appetizing, rubbery, and so even now when you have a refrigerator and you make a cheese omelet yesterday, take it out of the fridge and you can warm it up. Still may not be as good as one fresh made, right? So if there's going to be a change in the quality of the food you're making fresh now today, as opposed to having it made the day before, if you're going to lose quality by having made the day before, you don't have to do it the day before. You can do it right there on Yom Tov.
Okay, how do we define what lose quality means? Because I can promise you it means something different to each one of us sitting at this table.
The answer is to you.
Yeah,
The person
in general, it's going to be to you.
Perceived.
There are some people that, he eats, day-old omelets all the time, and that's what he gets. That's what he likes. But look, if we could, turn this guy into a Balchu and say, you really want to taste what an omelet's supposed to taste like, sit down and eat this and compare. Take this one and take that one, and so there are certain things which are kind of absolute. There's an absolute difference between something, and then some things are a little more fresh roast chicken. Is there any difference? Fresh roast chicken has, chicken that was roasted yesterday, put in the fridge, you take it out and you like to warm it up on a platter. Where's the crispiness? Where's the juices flowing?
All right, so what I'm trying to understand is you're telling me that even in the food, we're supposed to try and do the best we can do?
Yes.
Sure, Yom Tov. That's
what you're telling
us.
us.
That's
the message.
Exactly.
So if it can be better, then we have to try and make it better.
That's right. 100%. That's covered Yom Tov. You want to enjoy the Yom Tov to the
And
maximum.
is that the way the rules are supposed to dictate Our
That's
actions.
what you're learning now.
Okay, so this is what we're learning now.
Yeah.
This is affecting,
Alright.
this is affecting halacha.
Okay.
Right? If you know, like if the halacha and a HaKodesh Baruch Hu didn't care about how you enjoyed Shabbos and how you cared about Yom Tov, you know, eat dust, you know, eat dust and drink water.
Okay.
But no, you have to have Oneg Shabbos as Oneg Simchus Yom Tov. You're
If you
supposed
don't
to.
have that, you're chayiv Allah.
Yeah, it's a bitla. It could be a bitla saying.
You're high of what?
It's a bittul aseh. You don't have Oneg Shabbos.
You have to enjoy Shabbos.
Okay, what did you say?
It's a
Bittul what?
nullification of the action.
It's like I didn't even do it.
That's right.
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 And
You don't enjoy it.
The person's punished because of it. The person's punished because of it. Well, speaking about Shavuos, there are those days a minute that people stay up all night and learn on Shavuos,
Right.
right? But the poskim say that's only on the condition that it's not. First of all, it's not going to affect your davening. Right? You're going to be able to stay up all night, and at least what some people do is they stay up to Olos HaShaker, right? Then they'll go to sleep. They maybe say Shema. Maybe go to sleep and then wake up. They can wake up for 8 o'clock minutes. So from 5 o'clock to 8:30. They can maybe get 3 hours of sleep, wake up, and then daven, right? Some people, they just go straight from the learning to davening to seeking, right? But they can only do these things if it's not going to, staying up all night is not going to affect their davening. Nor, they also explain, nor can it affect your enjoyment of the day. If the guy's going to be, groggy, spinning, and even if he gets a couple of 3-4 hours sleep in the morning, he'll crash after he davens, and maybe he'll have a kiddush, or maybe he won't have a kiddush, maybe he'll sleep, wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, and he doesn't know if he's day or night, what's going on. Don't do that. That's what they call bittul simchus Yom Tov. Yom Tov is supposed to be a day that's enjoyable.
Okay, I understand.
So that's part of the food, making the food nice, enjoyable, tasty, in the best way possible. If that's what your intention is and that's what you have to do, you can cook. And now again, if it's going to be just the same, or better, let's say the coleslaw is the kind of coleslaw you want to make is going to be better from yesterday. You take it with vinegar and put sugar in there and put onions and let it soak, and it gets really, so after 10, 12, 24 hours, it really tastes something different than what it used to be. And that's what you want. That's your recipe, what you're trying to achieve. That's your taste. That's your flavor. So then you should be doing it beforehand, right? And as to whether or not you can't do it the regular way in a case like that, because that's something which is being improved in time. It's not. You were talking about the opposite aspect. It's losing quality in time, right? So if something's going to be losing quality in time, you don't have to do it from the day before. You can do it, make it fresh. Yeah. And again, we have a lot of options, freezing and refrigeration. But again, like that fresh roast chicken is not the same as it was if it's taken out after a day and reheated. And it's just not the same. Some things maybe, yeah. Have a pot of meatballs, so it might taste better if you cook it and then put it in the fridge so it chill up, and then you bring it up to a nice warm. That might get everything, give it an extra specialness. But it's straight off the fire. It doesn't have that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's going to translate Oshalo at his peak low Hashem.
Right, we didn't get it exactly. So first of all, if it's not possible to do it from the day before because it's going to scalp Yom Tov, it's going to be ruined, it'll get ruined on Yom Tov. Or Shlo Hispik Lo Shah, he didn't have time to do it. Lo Shalo Hispik, he didn't have the opportunity of the time. He didn't have enough time to do it. I mean, he's so busy. There's so many. It could be a situation, right, where there's so many things to do on Erev Yom Tov. He didn't have a chance to do everything. Wanted to make the coleslaw. Wanted to make all the other things, and there was a limit to how much he could do. So if he didn't have time, so then he can go ahead and do it on Yom Tov. Whether he's going to have to use what we call a shinui, a change in method, that's another story, right?
Umashma, Tiv Ochel Nafesh, Gufei Utar, Lada'at מחבר, אפילו באפשר לעשות מאתמול. Mashma, and we heard?
Well, mash means it's like, it seems, it's apparent, right? It's not meforish, but it seems, it's apparent.
So it seems by Ochel Nefesh, Gufei Mutar, the essence of the matter. Oh, sorry, Gufei, the goof is permitted?
Well, it's the Ochel Nefesh Guf meaning essence, meaning the
essence of the matter.
The actual making of food, right? That seems to be, right, mutal adas mechaber. That seems to be that it's mutal adas, meaning really making anything, any kind of food is really, according to the mechaber, really mutal, right? We might see that there's going to be some types of conditions, some type of situations where you'll maybe not be able to do it, or not do it in the direct, regular method, but in essence, it seems to be that the mechaber, that's Rabbi Yosef Chayil, the black print in the Shulchan Aruch, that seems to be that it's mutter, it's permissible, according to the opinion of the mechaber.
I feel that Efshar La'asam Mantel.
Even if it could have been done yesterday. You could have made the pancake, you could have made the blintzes yesterday, right? You could have made the blintzes yesterday, and it would have made even taste even better if they were made yesterday. But what is it in fact? Even if you could have done it, still, you want it for eating? You want to eat it now? According to Mechaber, theoretically it's permissible. Mihu, however,
בדבר שדרך לעשותו בפעם אחת לימים רבים. However, concerning something,
Mihu, b'david derech la'asos pam achas liyomim rami. However, meaning even if you'll say that any type of food preparation is theoretically permissible according to the Mechaber, however, in a thing, a type of food, that it's derek, it's the way to make it, lasos pamachas, to make it one time liyamim rami, meaning he makes it in quantity, right? No one's going to make a cup of coleslaw. You're going to make a gallon of coleslaw, right? I mean, you can make a cup of coleslaw, right? But since it's something which you usually make and it's you want it to stay a long time, and it gets better the longer time it stays in its juices, the better that coleslaw is going to taste, right? Till it reaches its limit, maybe 2 or 3, 4 days. But so you're not going to make a cup of coleslaw. So the derech to make coleslaw, you make a gallon of it. That's the way you usually do it. So something like that, gam al mechaber.
Right. So gam ha'mechaber asur b'devar shetov me'etmol v'lo yafig ta'amo. The mechaber renders asur because it's fine if you make it the day before and doesn't lose any taste.
Right. So you have different layers
What's yafig?
Yafig taimo, that it won't lose its flavor. Yafig is meaning it won't dissipate. Taimo won't dissipate its flavor. Yeah. Yafig is to dissipate. So even if it's going to be that it's theoretically permissible to make and cook, prepare any kind of food on Yom Tov, nevertheless, if it's something which is normally done for quantity, for many days at a time, at one time, and it's something which is better if it's made the day before, because it's not going to lose its time. So this would be a case of coleslaw. Something like coleslaw, right, which, let's say we're talking about a coleslaw that gets better after time, and you make it in quantity in general, yeah? So according to the Mechaber, that would be forbidden, even though in theory, any kind of food preparation is in fact mutter. Right? But you still may be able to do it by changing the method, making a small amount, right? You'll be limited, you may be able to do it even according to the Mechaber, but there may be restrictions on how you can go about doing it.
But if it doesn't get better,
Right,
if it's something that you normally make in quantity,
right.
but it still deteriorates over time, then are you allowed to make it in quantity on Yom Tov?
Oh, so you're only limited to making amount that you actually need for the Yom Tov. You can't make, I mean, within reason, you don't have to be exacting to the strand of spaghetti.
Right.
Make an estimate of how much you're going to
Yeah, you have to make an estimate of how much you need, right? You want to make spaghetti.
But so even though you normally would make a gallon
Right,
which would last you, let's say, 3 days.
right.
You can make a half a gallon on Yom Tov.
Yeah,
The fact that you normally make it in quantity does not prevent you.
right. But I mean, again, according to what we're learning now, if it's something which is made normally in quantity and it's not going to lose its flavor, so you really should have done it before the day before, right? And if you didn't, so then it's going to be
Well, I'm saying it is going to lose its flavor.
Oh, so
You normally make it in quantity,
right. So then,
but it will get worse.
right. So then you can
want to
do
make
it.
a half a gallon instead of a gallon.
You can make it on Yom Tov according to how much you need for that day of Yom Tov. Give or take. You don't have to be exactly to the strand of spaghetti.
But if you have, I just read that if you have an animal and it's going to die, you can check it on Yom Tov, prepare the entire thing on Yom Tov, so long as even if you only have a little bit, you can prepare the whole animal so the meat doesn't spoil and go
Because
bad.
that's something which is going to be spoiled. Because when it comes to shechita, you can't. Since we can't eat Abram and Achai, we can't surgically take off a pound of meat from the animal, right? That's Abram and Achai. That's also for us. So we can't do that. It's also for the no No human being can do that to an animal. That's just completely absolutely forbidden. So we don't have that option. So we have to shech. So you have to shech, even though that the animal may be enough for a month's supply of meat.
If the animal's going to die, you're not allowed to shed it.
Well, no, then you can, because if it dies, then it's going to be a nevela or a treifa. And so if you shecht it, and if it's not a treifa, meaning it's not something that had a fatal disease or some type of fatal wound to it, so it was shechted properly, and it wasn't fatally destined to die, but it was when it was dying in some way or another. Let's say it hurt itself in a way that didn't make it into a treifa, right? So then you check it, it's permissible. The laws are detailed and complicated, but generally you can do it. Okay, let's finish up here. Between the Kaiman, the details of that law are in Simin Tav Kuf Yud, Sif Gimel, Ayin Sham.
Al Yidei Shinui, Mashma Me Hagra, Tishrei. And through means of a Shinui, it appears from the Gra, from the Gaon, Tishrei. I'm not sure what that is.
Sorry, means it's permissible.
Permissible.
So even in that case, it could be through a shinui. We'll see. We'll be getting to it. When you do something through a change in methodology, that will permit certain things which are in theory going to be forbidden. But if you change the methodology, the process, the procedure, change it in some significant way, so that will permit it to be done.
Just philosophically,
Yeah.
my understanding is the underlying principle here is that you don't want to spend your Yom Tov cooking, cleaning, and whatever. You don't want to take away from your Yom Tov.
That's a major aspect of what we're dealing with.
So
Yeah.
if we're allowed to use a shinui, that would seem to undermine that principle.
Because it's going to take longer.
It's going to take longer
Yeah.
to make the
True.
food.
Right. That is true. However, what from that perspective, it's correct. However, the perspective that we want to adopt in understanding the shinui works as follows. It works on Shabbos as well. Since we're talking about Malachas on Shabbos, Lamates Malachas, which are applicable to Yom Tov, for a person to be obligated by transgressing from the Lamates Malachas, he has to do the Malacha in its normal way. When you automatically do something in an unusual way, you drop it from an Issa D'Oraisa to an Issa D'Rabbanan. So when you're dealing with an Issa D'Rabbanan b'tzorach mitzvah, you want the food to eat, right? So many times a shinui will allow you to do a mitzvah or a lav, D'Rabbanan, will allow you to do the process because you're doing it with a shinui. It's not permitted to you.
Right.
So the technical permissibility is given to you. However, even though it may take more time, which you'll claim, hey, that's going to take more time away from my enjoyment of Yom Tov. right? But since the whole point that you're doing is that you should enjoy the Yom Tov, right? You want to have that souffle, you want to have that coleslaw, right? So you're going to have to do a change in the normal process, which might take you more time, but that's allowing you technically to be able to do it, because we're not doing the malacha.
So you're weighing the two against each other.
Right, and actually, and your whole goal is really that you should have the simplest Yom Tov. You know, it might take a little bit longer to get there, right? It's like you're on a car, you have two ways. One road you're doing work, the shortcut you're doing road work. So you have to take the long road, right? It'll take you longer, but you're not going to get stuck in traffic.
The long, short way.
That's the, there you go. Okay, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, Mitzvah.